We'd like to welcome everyone viewing our live stream right here on YouTube Live. Everyone, sit back, grab some Ecto Cooler, and prepare to get your geek on right here on PopX.live.
I'm Adam from Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Longbox Edition, a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Captain's Log Supplemental.
PopXcast.
Hasta la vista, baby.
By the power of Grayskull, Autobots, transform! Excelsior!
And welcome, everyone. Welcome to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. I'm your host, Mr. Joe Burke. I don't know why I said Mr. at the front of that. I have no idea. It sounds like Mr. Wilson, Mr. Rogers. I'm not a Mr. by any... Anyway, we'll just move on from that. So I am Central Florida's seasoned comic book nerd and retro enthusiast, and we would like to welcome everyone joining us and viewing us live on PopX.live and Geeks.live. And, hey, join us in the chat rooms. We got some really cool chat rooms. If you guys want to stop in at PopX.live or Geeks.live, you can join the conversation while we're streaming live, which is kind of cool. Ooh. So join us, okay? Come hang out with us and join the conversation.
I am Austin Burke, the Appalachian Geek at Heart. And if you guys missed last week's episode 32, State Run Media Productions, check our official website at PopXcast.com.
Hey guys, I'm Lindsay Badger, your geeky oaky gal from the Midwest, and be sure to head over to Google Play or iTunes and click that subscribe button. Catch up on some amazing shows from PopX's archive, and while you're there, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review, because we certainly appreciate that.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Lindsay Badger. Of course, Mike is not here this week. Mike, we want to wish him, right off the top of the bat, we want to wish him a very awesome bon voyage. He's on an amazing cruise this weekend with his darling little kids, and we love them to pieces, and Mike is such an integral part of the show, and when he's not here, it's just kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So we're just kind of like, okay, is this real life?
I know, I miss him.
Oh my gosh. So, Lindsay Badger, thank you so much for joining us right off the bat.
Thanks for having me.
Before we went on to the stream, me and Lindsay Badger were brainstorming for some future potential show ideas. And we've got a couple that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. I don't want to drop the hammer just yet, but let's just say there's going to be some origin stories involved on some of our favorite comic book individuals that you may not know about. So it's kind of cool. We're diving into these guys. The movies are getting ready to come out, and you might want to know a little bit of the upper edge as you go into the cinema. Pretty cool stuff. Well, last week we had kind of a really cool show feature starting fall lineup for all the shows that's going on the CW, Fox, FX, Netflix, AMC. I mean, there's so many shows going on. So we have broke it down. We're going to kind of rotate through these. All right. So Fear the Walking Dead has already started, and you're probably on week 3 by now. So if you're not caught up, you might want to go back on the prime time and watch it on demand. Also, Gotham is set to start up this week, and it is tomorrow night at 8 p.m., and right after Gotham is Lucifer, and that is at 9 p.m. on Fox. So you got Gotham, then you got Lucifer. Now, Austin, what is your other... There's some more shows, too, right? You got 3 more for us?
Man, we have Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. September 20th at 10 p.m. on ABC. This season is going to be really exciting because we have the Ghost Rider.
Oh my gosh,
And
I'm
then
so excited.
we also have the brand new version of MacGyver. This show starts on September 23rd at 8 p.m. on CBS. A brand new MacGyver.
I'm actually really curious about this one.
Yes.
Yeah, this is interesting. It could either be really good or extremely
They better
terrible.
bring it.
They have to bring it at this point.
Is it
we also
terrible
have
or is it terrible?
terrible?
Terrible.
That's terrible.
Is it,
No,
is
man,
it terrible?
that's terrible.
It's just
You know what better not be terrible? The Exorcist. It better be amazing because it looks horrifying, Joe. This starts on September 23rd
man.
as well
I
on
know.
Fox. Can we get a scary show? I want a
don't-
scary show.
I don't know, man. And Lindsay, what else you got for us?
We have the American Horror Story continuing on the thrilling and shrilling of the season. Of course, it's totally epic. It's going to be rolling out on September 15th on FX.
Nice.
Also, we have Marvel's Luke Cage coming out on September 30th on Netflix, which I'm actually kind of interested in. And my most recent heartthrob, The Flash, and he's going to come out on October 4th, 8 p.m. on the CW, followed by my runner-up favorite, The Arrow, on October 5th at 8 p.m. on the CW as well.
Awesome. And you know the reason why we're doing this, ladies and gents, we have a list here that we put the list out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter this past week, and it's a really cool list. I'm gonna enhance it here so you guys can see it and enjoy it and know. But this is a list of all the shows coming out that are kind of comic book related. Now it's not all of the shows because there's other networks that's got different shows, but these are kind of your heavy hitters.
I'm glad you
And-
made that list, actually.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice checklist. And then rounding out the end of the list is Supergirl on October the 10th, 8 p.m. on CW. DC's Legends of Tomorrow, that's October the 13th, 8 p.m. CW. And Supernatural is kicking back in on October the 13th in CW. And then last but not least, one of the most biggest primetime comic book shows is The Walking Dead. That we will find out who Negan gives it to on October the 23rd at 9 p.m. on AMC. So, all right. So predictions. All right. So who do you think Negan is gonna go for?
Oh man.
I heard that the premiere is going to be extremely
Graphic.
emotional.
I heard it's gonna be graphic and emotional.
Oh no.
So you think it's Norman? Do you think it's Norman Reedus?
Fans are probably going to be throwing and breaking things, is what
Okay, if it is Norman
Norman
Reedus,
was saying.
We want to
gonna
welcome
cry.
Moonshadow. Moonshadow's joining us right now in the
Moon,
PopX chat room.
hey.
What's up, man? Long time
And
no
I
see.
also want to say hi to Herbie, Luke, and Tony, and
Oh,
Carlos over in
yes.
the YouTube chat.
okay.
We have a full house tonight, and I'm so happy to see all you guys hanging
Look
out with
at that.
us.
Herbie and
Love Full
Lister's
House.
mate. We got
Good show.
Anthony hanging out, Luke and Herb. Man, look at this. You guys are freaking awesome tonight. Well, you know what, guys? It is time to roll into the news. So sit back, relax, and roll that beautiful news footage.
Extra, read all about it. This is PopX News, coming to you live right here on PopXcast.com.
All right, and leading us off on the top now, that we just got this news today, and it's not really good news, but we do want to get this out of the way. If you guys remember Space Ghost Coast to Coast, remember how fun that was on
Such a good show.
Oh, it was great.
It's incredible.
It was on Adult Swim for a while, and then it was on the late night Comedy Central for a long time. But voice artist, it is C. Martin Crocker, has passed away, unfortunately. He is famously known for providing the voices of Zorak and Moltar. And so it was really,
Those were my favorite. I loved Space
remember
Ghost.
Zorak? Oh my gosh! But he has passed away early this morning, Sunday. Details aren't for certain, but his loss was felt immediately by friends and colleagues, and I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, several online media outlets went to Twitter to pay their respects for C. Martin Crocker, who has passed away. So definitely kind of a soft spot right off the top of the bat, and so Space Ghost was such a great show. But
I feel like we're kicking off every week with somebody else.
Austin said it best.
No,
2016
2016.
has sucked.
It's not really been the greatest.
the
We've
worst.
lost a lot of awesome people in multiple industries.
It sucked. It really has. Let's just say it for what it is.
Aw.
But anyway, Austin, what else you got for us?
Yeah,
man?
here's a good way to brighten up everyone's day. Fox has bought the rights to a Stan Lee movie. Okay, now listen to this. It is not just a Stan Lee movie. It is not just a biopic, but Lee will be a hero in an action adventure that takes place in the 1970s.
Shut up.
What? Are you
Wow.
kidding me? There are
That is
so
so
many
great.
different directions this could go in, man, and it is so exciting just to know whoever is playing Stan Lee, an action adventure movie. What is he writing comic books in the day and then fighting crime at night? This is so exciting, man.
It is really amazing. And, gosh, how do I say this without sounding so disrespectful? We know he's getting up in age.
Yes.
And, I'm looking for a biopic to come really soon. And honestly, my front runner for playing him, Bryan Cranston.
Yes.
Did you like
Have you
that?
seen the picture? Have
I've
you seen the
I've
picture of
seen the
Bryan
picture.
Cranston as Stan Lee?
Isn't that freaking awesome, dude? Oh my gosh.
That would be pretty sweet.
We're just, can you tell
Great
we're having a
call,
geek boner this morning right now? That's crazy.
We are
So much
geeking out hard.
geekiness going on right now, you
All
guys.
right. What you got for us, Badges?
Well, let's bring in the holidays here for a moment. In December, DC will be celebrating the happiest time of the year with their Rebirth holiday issue. It's going to be 96 pages and will touch on various characters across the entire DC universe, including Huntress, Wonder Woman, John Constantine,
Nice.
Detective Chimp, and Harley Quinn. That's going to be really neat.
That's amazing.
You
I
had
know
me at-
Joe's going to get that under his tree.
Heck yeah.
Maybe shoved in his Christmas
Freaking
stocking.
A, you had me at Constantine. Holy cow. Gee whiz. What
He's
a...
going to be eating his Marvel waffles while reading his holiday issue
Right?
of Rebirth
Yeah.
holiday.
Yes, my wife this past Christmas bought me a Marvel Comics waffle maker. So I won't even unpack that right now, okay? Well, I did unpack it, but I'm
What?
talking. Yes. When you come
Yeah.
in March, I'll make you some Marvel comic waffles, man.
You'll have to tell me whether Captain America side or Thor side tastes better.
Yeah. Or Iron Man.
I bet it's Cap.
Or the Hulk, right?
Or
the
Hulk.
Hulk's the fourth one.
I'm excited. Now I'm
All
excited.
right, moving along here, we have Star Trek Discovery will be leaving space dock in May 2017. Instead of the original launch date, they had originally expected it to launch on January 2017, but I think they kind of pushed it back just a wee bit. It's believed that this new date was set by the creative team to deliver the highest quality that the show deserves, since this is the first new show in over a decade. So this is
Been a minute.
it's been a while. So I'm excited. Are anybody else excited to see Star Trek back on TV in primetime?
I am totally ready to put my Trekkie hat back on and geek out and get to know and love all the characters all over again.
Yes.
Yes, this is very exciting, and I can't wait to see like who's in the new crew, what it's about, what their missions are. Oh, it's just so
The
exciting.
new creatures they come in contact
Yes.
with, because
Oh my
they're
goodness.
always finding
Love
new
Star Trek.
interesting creatures.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
Goodness.
All right, so Austin, what do you got for us?
Okay, so WB has given the official release date of October 6th, 2016 for Constantine, the complete series on DVD and Blu-ray. Who is going to own this? Raise their hand.
Well, I already own.
I
I already
am.
own a smuggled pirated. Anyway,
You know you're going to own the real deal too as well.
well, here's the thing. DC Comics kind of I don't want to say drop the ball, but they kind of gave the most ultimate teaser in the past week. This past Wednesday was, of course, every Wednesday is comic book day. That's when the new comics come out. And so all the back of the comics that came out this past week from DC had this Constantine coming to Blu-ray announcement on the back of it. So it was kind of like the first, before they actually announced it, it was kind of like a teaser.
Pre-announcement.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So
That's epic.
yeah.
That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, after the success of the Suicide Squad with over $700 million so far,
700
and
million.
going, my main girl, Margot Robbie, is getting her very own Harley Quinn spinoff movie. Robbie is set to star in the film, as well as the executive producer, and distributed by her own production company, Lucky Chap Entertainment.
Wow.
So there you go. I called this one. I knew that she was going to get her own. She basically dominated the heck out of that movie to begin with. So
Wow.
it's well deserved. She did a great job.
Can you imagine doing a proper backstory, origin story for Harley Quinn, and maybe some scenes with Joker in jail while she's trying to get into
do it on her own?
I'll take it.
Yeah. I'll buy into that.
To me.
I'll
take that.
Shut up, take my money. Take it right now. Take it all out. Well, right along the frame of DC news, this is really interesting that came out this week, too. Justice League director Zack Snyder tweeted out the first image of Batman's brand new tactical suit. Now, some say it's a close resemblance to Night Owl from Snyder's film The Watchmen, but we don't know if that's a nod to The Watchmen, because there was a Watchmen reference at the end of Rebirth. Remember the
look at that suit.
The pin?
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous. That is a beautiful
I could
suit.
wash my clothes on that.
Yeah, look at the washboard. It's a sick-looking washboard. My gosh. Can I eat? I'd eat
abs,
s'mores
though,
off that.
and the pecs too. Dang.
I just want to run.
Well, I don't know if you
fingers.
guys.
I just want to run my fingers through his pecs.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was actually a leaked. It wasn't leaked. It was a screenshot taken of Batman v Superman, and it was a very short snippet of Ben Affleck actually working on that exact mask.
Wow.
It's a scene when he's talking to Alfred. He's like he's got something going on there while he's talking to Alfred. And right there is that exact mask. So there was actually a tease to that in Batman v Superman.
Oh.
Austin Burke with the nerd
Easter's
nugget.
egg.
It was Batman Day. What can I say? It was very exciting.
It is Batman
Yesterday,
Day.
right?
Yesterday, right?
Yes.
Batman.
It was Batman Day. So that was very exciting. It was a good day. It's a good day to be alive.
Oh my God, it's a good day to be a fan of anything, right?
Let's go from DC. Let's go from DC to DC. Legends of Tomorrow has cast Dan Payne as Obsidian. He will be playing the character that exists in present day. Lance Henriksen will be playing Obsidian of the future. This character is coming to the small screen. How exciting is this, Joe?
Obsidian, dude.
Obsidian, man.
They're bringing out some of these characters from the DC universe that you would never have thought.
The most obscure
this is very obscure. We're going to have to throw this on the list of characters to cover because I don't know.
And I freaked out when they had the red. I freaked out.
Do I get fired if I don't know who this guy is?
No, listen. No. You're fine. And see, I freaked out when I saw Red Tornado on Supergirl. I'm like, holy cow, it's the Red Tornado. But he goes back so many years. He goes back to the 50s, the Red Tornado does. So he's an old school guy.
I do have to make an announcement. I did finally catch up on Supergirl for everyone else out there.
How was it?
So
You think?
it was fantastic. I enjoyed all of it.
There were some cheesy moments, but there was also some really awesome moments.
There was. I agree.
Yeah. So, see, who's up next? Is it me?
Oh, it's me.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Kevin Smith's episode for season 3 of The Flash has been given a title, simply called Killer Frost.
Oh, my.
I wonder what it's about.
Twitter by revealing the cover page of the script.
Huh.
Look at that.
Okay.
Nice.
Kevin
So Killer
Smith.
Frost, she is
Killer
back.
Frost.
I'm
She's
assuming.
back because I thought that they
Interesting.
took care of her already.
Good deal. Spoilers for a season a year old.
Maybe they bring her out of the future and back into.
You guys need to catch up on your Flash if you haven't
Right.
already, because
Or maybe she turns into Killer Frost.
maybe they go to a different planet where Killer Frost exists. Or an Earth, not planet. A different Earth.
All these theories.
There's so many ways this could go.
Oh my God, you guys, this is so awesome. All right, moving along here in like Walking Dead news. This is some freaky stuff right here. In an interview with Norman Reedus, when asked how fans may react to the Walking Dead season 7 premiere, he said, quote, "Fans may not be adequately prepared." End quote. He said some may become emotional, which may cause them to break things, maybe even their television sets. Wow. So, what do you think? I think it's Norman Reedus.
I smell sadness.
I smell the death of. Could it be Carl? You think Carl getting?
I have no idea.
Regardless,
let's go to the chat room. Let's see if anybody over on PopX.live or anybody on the YouTube live, who do you think is going to get it?
Who's gonna get it?
Who's going to kick it?
Who do you
On The
think
Walking Dead this
season
season, on the
premiere?
season premiere.
All right, we're going to take it to the chat room.
The zombies are coming. The zombies are coming.
We're going to pause right now and just see what kind of response we get, just because I'm really curious to know, because everybody I talk to in my circle, even me and Todd, have been in the Heroes Landing comic book shop discussing this for a solid hour.
Just breaking it down.
Just breaking it
like
down.
Characters
and
who it could be, who it couldn't be. I like that.
Who can it be? But it can't
Top
be this
5 favorite
guy.
characters. Who are they gonna kill off?
I don't know. I'm just so up in the air about it all. I got mixed emotions about it.
It's gonna be good.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I'm excited.
You know
for
what
all
else is
you
going to be good,
fans out
guys?
there.
Go ahead, Austin.
Let's talk about Mr. Sinister, okay? Mr. Sinister is confirmed to appear in Wolverine 3. This comes as no surprise, as the ending of X-Men Apocalypse kind of teased Sinister with the vial of liquid labeled Weapon X and the suitcase labeled Essex Corp, which is a welcome to Nathaniel Essex, or Mr. Sinister. Now, Bryan Singer revealed this. Are you guys excited to see this character in Wolverine 3?
I'm actually really excited to see Mr. Sinister come to the big screen, because he is such an iconic player in the whole X-Men franchise, and it's really going to be kind of dynamic to see him in that element, because Mr. Sinister is one of those figures in the X-Men franchise that brings in he's friends with Apocalypse, and there's just so much going on with him and his character. Man, I don't know. Now,
When you say he's friends with Apocalypse, like just imagine them having like a family game night and they're playing Uno.
Road trip.
I don't know, right? It's so funny. But they, they're whoever is wearing the red shirt. That's what Luke said about the Walking Dead.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a pretty good answer, Luke. I'll give you that.
That's the best answer.
If you guys want to join us right now, if you're tuning us in live, come on over to popx.live, or just join us in the YouTube live chat room, and we'll be answering questions and talking to you in real time. So it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
But all right, so we're going to go into PopX's Hit of the Week as we pause for a second.
And now it's time for PopX's of the Week.
Yes. So.
Yes.
So we're just going to talk about this right now. With the release of Apple's brand new iOS 10, the new iMessage function now allows real-time stickers and animations via text. For free, Apple is also giving fans a free download of Super Mario Run stickers, and for $1.99, as you can see here in this image, that I had a little bit, way too much fun, got a little overboard with it. Marvel has released their own branded stickers to make everyday text more epic and heroic. And
That's beautiful.
have to say, I had a little too much fun this past week, as you can see. But these are so freaking cool. You post a picture of yourself, and then you put the stickers over top, and it's in real time, and they can see you putting the pictures on top, the stickers.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really crazy. So I definitely recommend the new iMessage function of Apple's iOS 10. It's really fun, and if you get a chance, definitely check out Marvel stickers. They're really cool, and it's really a great way. I mean, come on. Look.
Do they have DC stickers?
Not yet, but I think they're working on a Suicide Squad one.
Fan Wars. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. But, so yeah, definitely check it out. And it's a brand new function that is going to be, it's right there, right on the apps. So it's really neat to just be able. Austin, was you able to see that in real time as I was going through that?
Yes. Yeah. I actually, when you first sent me the the message, like the very first one that you sent me when you downloaded iOS
Right.
10. I didn't have iOS 10, so you were sending me all this stuff, and I wasn't receiving it as you were sending. I was like, oh, what is this? But then when I downloaded it, man, iOS 10. If you have not downloaded iOS 10, I recommend it because it's so cool. Just the sticker option alone, but just the way that you do your messages, and it takes a little getting used to with the new lock screen and stuff. And there's some people complaining, but I think it's cool. I like change.
Did you get the
Change it
new
up.
iPhone 7?
No, but I want it really bad.
Hashtag Team Android.
Hashtag team. Oh, really, Lindsay? Oh my gosh, Lindsay. Lindsay's blowing out the old. Hey, you want a Droid? No, I don't want a Droid. Apple for life. But you know what? It is.
I
what
won't
it is.
convert you.
It's okay. That's all
It's all
right. All right. Well, guys, you ready for a fun event?
I'm
on
ready
the
to dive
end of
into this. It's going to be so much fun going back
Well-
and looking at all this stuff.
Well, here's what we're going to do, guys. We have put together a list of some of our favorite cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons. Now, if you're looking in the window right now, you're seeing a collection of people that are 3 different eras of 3 different I mean, it's going to be, Lindsay has got her flair, and I've got mine. Mine's more nostalgic. And then Austin's got his, which is kind of catering a little bit more to the modern scale.
Hashtag 90s.
Hashtag 80s.
Hashtags 80s and 90s.
Yeah, see? There we go.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of
A little
both.
bit of both.
All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to list in no particular, in particular order. We're going to go start with our number 5, and then we're going to list the cereal that went along with it.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
So we're going to pair them up. All right.
We're going to pair them up. We're going to go, so I'm going to start this out. All right, so this is going to be really crazy. Oh, my God. Wait, why do I have 6? I have 6.
I don't know why you have 6. I was wondering that too. I was like, well, he is the boss.
Oh,
He has
boy.
no information.
Well, I'm
okay.
just going to go with it.
Go for it, man.
Because I remember really being on the struggle bus with this one, and Lindsay, I had to take a phrase right from your vocabulary.
No, it's fine. I borrowed it myself too.
It's because
It's public domain.
all right, so when I would come home from school, and here's what I want you guys to do as you do this, okay? We're going to do this on the fly, but we got some information prepared. But I want each of you as the hosts to be able to tell me what you remember fun about it, what you remember as a child, and when you watch these shows, and the cereal that went along with it. So start with your list, and I'll start out first. Mine was right at the bottom of the list was Count Duckula, and I'm actually going to do 2 at one time. That way we can kind of go ahead and just get through this part. Okay. But Count Duckula was one of my favorite television shows, and I would come home from high school, and it would be like freshman year in high school in 1994, I would say, and I would see Count Duckula. He would come on around 3:30 in the afternoon. So I would get out of school at about 3 o'clock, get home about 3:15, 3:20, have just enough time to grab a little something out of the fridge, and then hop over and watch Count Duckula. Now, it's really, really fun. This is when we were talking with Steve Middleton last week about Count Duckula, and it's really funny because he was wearing the shirt, and I'm like, oh my God, that's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. And it's very little information out there about it, so it's kind of one of those cartoons that not a lot of people know about. It's kind of obscure in a way, but now I gotta ask you, do any of you two know anything about Count Duckula? I'm just curious.
I remember watching the episodes. I don't know I can't remember the specific
Okay.
backstory of it,
All right.
but I do
Well, Count Duckula,
vividly remember watching
Count
it.
Duckula is a British animated comedy drama, dark fantasy television series created by a British studio. It was Cosgrove Hall as a spin-off from Danger Mouse. Now, a lot of people are more familiar with Danger Mouse. So it's a series in which Count Duckula, the character, was a recurring villain. And it went from, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 6th of September 1988 to February 1993, and was produced. It had 65 episodes in all, and each episode was about 22 minutes long. And you had Igor the Nanny and Castle Duckula, rather. And so it was really interesting, really fun little show. And it was just really weird because here is a vampire duck who is a vegan. Yeah. So that's
I
pretty
remember
much that. Yeah. So he would only eat vegetables. He would not cater to his vampire nature. And so here, I don't know why I had 6, guys. I apologize, but so my number 5 is Mask. Now, a lot of people will know Mask. Mask was definitely in the 80s. If you're a child of the 80s, you know exactly what Mask is.
Not to be
And
confused with The Mask, which was
not to be
later.
confused with Jim Carrey. No. But Mask was fun. It is basically an acronym. It means Mobile Armored Strike Command. Command. And it was an animated television series produced by the French-American Dick Enterprises Incorporated and Kenner. The series was based on Mask action figures. So as they released the action figures, guess what? They released new episodes. Oh, wasn't that a great idea? Let's make toys to match the cartoons. And I just bought right into it. So there was a total of 75 syndicated television shows. And it was really cool. There were 75 episodes altogether. And it was really cool. It kind of combined G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Moonshadow over in the chat says he has some of the action figures somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I remember the song, Masked Crusaders Working Overtime. I can't play the actual song because it's copyrighted, so I can't do that, but I would love to.
That would have made the show so much more fun.
I know,
but that's
it would've.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah, thanks, YouTube, and your copyright. Anyway, so Mask was that, and then, my cereal for that I would pair with that is one of my favorite cereals. Let me see if I can get my list up here. I have no idea what just happened here. But it was in Austin. This is kind of where we're going to be crossing over with each other, and I do apologize for crossing over.
Yeah. Go for it.
But my box is older than your box, so this is Boo Berry. And me and Lindsay Badger were talking right before the show, and I remember so many mornings waking up around this time of the year and eating some Boo Berry. Not just that, though. You had Frankenberry and Count Chocula, and you had some of the old school cereals back in the day, but definitely remember having Boo Berry and watching Mask on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. That was definitely my forte. So that's my number 5s. So we'll start out with Austin. You want to go ahead with yours?
I'll do it if you want me to, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm about to bring out the big guns. Here we go. In 1999, there was a cartoon that premiered on Nickelodeon featuring a certain yellow sponge. You guys know where I'm going with this, right? This cartoon has slowly become the single biggest thing Nickelodeon has ever created, and SpongeBob is now an American icon. The reason this makes the list over classics like Jimmy Neutron, and Samurai Jack from Cartoon Network, which are honorable mentions for me, is because this is a show that was so good for a 5-season span that I will still go back and revisit it today. Every now and then, me and my friends will go on YouTube and we'll be like, you know what, let's just watch SpongeBob quotes, man. Let's just see what Patrick's doing right now. This show was so revolutionary. And people my age quote SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward and Plankton on a daily basis. And I don't know whether that's something I should share or not because it's kind of embarrassing. But I will tell you that the laughs of this show from the first 5 seasons still hold up. And the series has, of course, declined, but that comes with every show. But it's so popular that it continues to air and it continues to appeal to kids. So, guys, SpongeBob appealed to a 5-year-old Austin. It appeals to a 21-year-old Austin, and that's why it's number 5 on my list.
Here's a weird thing, Austin. You may not know. I can do an incredible SpongeBob impersonation.
Give it to me, Joe. I want it.
Hold on.
No.
Are you ready? Krabby Patties, Patrick. Yeah.
SpongeBob.
Oh my gosh.
All right, good. All right,
You
so
guys are goofy goobers.
What's your cereal, man? What was your cereal paired with that one?
Okay, so my cereal paired with that one is Kellogg's Cinnamon Mini Buns. Okay.
Oh, yes.
This cereal is the cereal that gives you a sweet cinnamon bun taste that you got when you enjoyed a delicious Cinnabon. This was always a cereal that gave me the feeling of, hey, I'm experiencing something crazy right now because our family always made it into an event when we went to Cinnabon. Whenever we were in the mall, whenever we were close to a store, we would always go to Cinnabon. And when I discovered that this was a cereal when I was younger, my life was changed forever.
So
the sad fact is, though, Joe, This cereal doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't.
Bad now.
No, it doesn't.
Does it?
You're looking at sad Austin. It doesn't exist.
No, they've sadly they've discontinued a lot of the greats, unfortunately, and this was one of them.
This is one of them, which is why it's so low on my list, because I don't like it.
Sad.
We'll just leave that right there.
Austin, I have to tell you that my children also thoroughly enjoy SpongeBob as well. So
Smart children.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
yes, they are big fans of Patrick and SpongeBob.
Well, Lindsay
And
Badger.
Cinnabon.
Let's hear from
Let's
Lindsay
kick
Badger.
off my list with a fun favorite from the 90s, Animaniacs.
Oh, snap.
Oh, almost made my list.
They originally aired on Fox Kids, or the Fox Television Network, and later the Kids WB. It was produced by our one and only favorite Steven Spielberg.
It's my boy, Steve.
And the Animaniacs was kind of like the revival of an old show concept where it was a collection of cartoon shorts, all squeezed into a half-hour kids show. But the approach to this was kind of unique in the 1990s, since that format was kind of not used nearly as much, since the goofball slapstick-style TV shows were kind of driven out by the moral guardians who thought that slapstick was too violent for children's TV, like Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies and that stuff, which that stuff is just gold for me.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the show was each had its own little stories within it, and they were all original stories, so they didn't really take anything from back in the day. They just kind of pulled their own characters together. So they have the main premise characters, the Warren brothers and the Warner sister, Wacko, Yakko, and Dot. And they are super wacky, goofy characters that kind of drive everybody crazy. And then there's the Pinky and the Brain. You can't forget Pinky and the Brain, because they're always trying to take over the world, and it always gets foiled by Pinky screwing it up, and then they try to start over the next night. It's
What are we going to do tonight, Brian?
Narf!
What are we going to do tonight, Brian?
Yeah, Tony in the chat's like, hello, nurse. Yeah. The Animaniacs is famous for doing that as well. Slappy Squirrel was this really grouchy, old, retired squirrel, and she was kind of like the pessimist character, and then she had a younger, youthful nephew, which I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but he was kind of more of the optimistic fun, and they kind of just went through their adventures together, they played really well together. One of my favorite skits is Good Feathers, and it's a group of pigeons that walked around like they were like good fellas, and it was just like a parody of everything that has to do with like the mobster style Godfather, even the Sopranos, even though the Sopranos weren't on back then.
That's crazy.
But they had the Good Feather was their
feather.
boss.
It wasn't the good fellow, it was the good
And they always
feather.
hung out on like this city statue and went on wacky adventures. There was also Buttons and Mindy, Mindy was this toddler, and the Buttons, the dog, always was keeping her out of trouble, but he would always get in trouble by the owners, the parents, because he was a bad dog. And then there's Chicken Boo, which is this life-size, adult-sized chicken that dressed in like adult clothes and pretended to be a human, and everybody would believe it until like he like lost a hat or a jacket fell off or something, and then everyone was like, "Oh my god!" So there's even, that was just to name a few. There's so many more characters that you constantly they kept to their own worlds. They had their own themes, but on a rare occasion, one of these characters would show up in another skit.
Randomly.
It's completely insane and wacky.
It was awesome. What was your cereal that you paired with that one?
My cereal that I paired with this one has to be Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms?
Lucky Charms. I got a box back here, you guys.
Are they after me?
Who doesn't love
Look at that.
all of the marshmallows in milk, and it gets with all the stuff? Be truthful.
Diabetes.
Who just ate the marshmallows and then dumped the rest of it?
That was me.
That was me. Probably.
Admit that.
My pancreas
Actually,
exploded.
my daughter does the same thing, and I've totally turned mom mode and been like, no, you got to eat the rest of your cereals. Guilty.
Guilty as charged. Oh my
It's
gosh.
magically delicious.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms, aren't they?
So
I don't
that's my
you know.
number 5.
All right, so let's go to number 4 now for me. And on my list is definitely one of my favorite, most iconic cartoons from the 80s. And my God, has it spawned off an entire movie franchise today. It is Transformers.
Robots in disguise.
Robots in disguise. Oh my gosh. So Transformers is just more, it was so much more than any other media had covered up until this point. Transformers literally invaded all of our television sets over 30 years ago, and it was Transformers. The original cartoon ran from 84 to 87, and it captured the imagination of children, mostly young guys, and the young at heart worldwide. And the leader, Mr. Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots, was always in a galactic battle alongside the humans to fight the evil Megatron and the Decepticons. And so today, fast forward over 30 years later, and we have this amazing, some people like it, some people hate it, but the film franchise of Transformers as well. And I really kind of like it to some extent, but
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either. But I did actually go into my room and pulled out something really cool for you guys. This is my Optimus Prime original 1984 toy.
Dude.
And so there it is. There, I just want you guys to drool over that for just a second as we pause and just...
I remember we talked about that when we did the retro toys show.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's in all of its glory and just amazing. And you know what I got to pair with this for my cereal?
What?
Now, a lot of people don't know about this cereal. It was kind of obscure. One of those ones that only select grocery stores. And back in my day, I just said it, back in my day, we had what was called an IGA. And at the IGA, there was the Nintendo cereal system.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That's so crazy.
Now, this is really crazy. Nintendo's cereal system was a breakfast cereal which was produced by Ralston Cereals in 88 and discontinued the next year in 89.
Dumb.
So the name of the cereal was based on the Nintendo Entertainment System and represents two of the most popular video games at the NES at the time. That was Super Mario Brothers and Legends of Zelda. Now, this is really cool. When you open the box, it was 2 bags, side by side, long bags.
2 different cereals in it?
2 different cereals. Yes.
Shut
Revolutionary.
the front door.
Yeah.
It was discontinued?
It was discontinued. Now, if you look at the picture, the graphic that I have, one side of it is fruity, the other side is berry.
So were they shaped in any special way? I can't really see that one.
Not really. I mean, they just had. I remember them being really small pieces.
Okay.
Not like trick size, but kind of like really tiny. And over the years, the cereal has been sold as memorabilia for collectors online at prices exceeding $100 per box. In 2010, a box of this was sold on eBay. You ready for this? $200
For a box of cereal?
For a box of defunct cereal from the 80s. I can't make this up. I really can't make this up.
I bet it's stale.
Do you not recommend people
$10 is
consuming
stale.
this cereal?
So yeah,
$100 is stale.
It was really cool though. You opened the box and there was 2 individual long bags. I've never seen a cereal like that before, other than one.
There's probably so many preservatives in that cereal. It's probably still safe to eat. To be quite honest with you, I'm not saying you should.
Oh my gosh! Well, there's
so much stuff in there.
It's so nasty. I don't know. I don't even know. Austin, what is your number 4, dude? What is your number 4 cartoon?
My number 4 cartoon is 2001's Justice League. Okay, this show was a dream come true for my 6-year-old self when it first premiered, and my 16-year-old self and my 26-year-old self. Okay, this series put everything on the table when they decided to bring together the world's greatest heroes in one show, and it was magical. They took my Batman from his series. They took my Superman from his series, and they took all of these characters, got a wonderful voice cast. The animation style still holds up to this day, and the adventures that these heroes went on were ripped straight from the comics.
Yep.
Justice League and Justice League Unlimited were what made being a kid watching cartoons so much fun, because you have so many icons that you can root for, and then you can attach yourself to as a young kid. You can cheer them on, you can imitate them, and this show had 4 seasons that are currently on Netflix. If you have not seen this show, even if you are an adult,
It's really good.
I'm going to add it to my watch list tonight.
And I remember the intro theme song was really dope back in the day. I mean, it was kind of that, what do you call it? That cinematic score sound.
With the trumpets, you know.
Yeah, it was so awesome.
Beautiful.
And isn't it the guy that does the voice of Batman in the Arkham Asylum and the animated series?
It is Kevin Conroy. It's literally...
Conroy. Yeah.
And it's not just the same voice, it's the same character from Batman the Animated Series. The same character. And they took the same Superman from the Superman series from 15 years before that, man.
It's so beautiful. And this was the first time, too, we got to actually see Martian Manhunter, John Jones.
Martian Manhunter, who become one of my, through this show, not the comics, but through this show, become one of my favorite characters.
That's awesome.
He was epic, man. Yeah. But my cereal... Oh, okay, here we go. The angry Austin is coming out.
Oh, boy.
Why in the world would you change the shape of Trix cereal? Do you guys remember when Trix was shaped like fruit? Okay, every single 90s kid loved Trix. Then for some reason in the early 2000s, they decided to go from a glorious fruit shape to these little daggone circles. Okay?
They're like flowers. Who wants to eat flowers?
Man, I am sensing beautiful. Some emotion here. There's some emotional attachment.
They were gorgeous, man. They were literally the shapes and the sizes of the fruits, and you got the little flavors. But for some reason, they decided to change these to circles. Okay,
you know, if I could pick 6 cereals, this one would have made the list. So I'm feeling the frustration and the anger on this right now.
You know what, guys? I was never a fan of Trix. I was.
My heart just broke.
It's okay, Austin. We all can't be on the same team.
Well, you know what? I used to be a fan of Trix until they changed them to the daggone circles, Joe. Okay? Do you guys remember the commercials, the Silly Rabbits Tricks Are for Kids commercials?
Yes.
Yes, I remember watching that as a kid, and I stuck true because I would never let my parents touch my Trix because they weren't for them. They were for
if
kids.
Your parents touched your trick, we had a problem. I think at some point social services could be called in or something on that one.
Yeah, that was trying to touch my tricks.
Don't you touch my tricks.
But those were words that I lived by as a kid, guys, and that's why it's number 4 on my list.
My goodness.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy. All right, Lindsay Badger, you're number 4.
All right. My number 4 this week is Fraggle Rock.
Oh,
Fraggle Rock. Yes, it's
great.
Puppets. They did do 1 year of actual animated spin-off, but my favorite is the Puppets, the Jim Henson creations. The whole show actually debuted in 1983 and it ran through 87, which I wasn't watching a whole lot of cartoons in that realm, but I watched all of the syndicated reruns, which is just as good whenever you didn't see them the first time around. Jim Henson described Fraggle Rock as a high energy, raucous musical romp with a lot of silliness, and it's wonderful. So it used the fantasy creatures as an allegory to deal with serious issues such as prejudice, spirituality, personal identity in the environment, and social conflict. The 4 main species of Fraggle Rock of the environment was the Fraggles, the Dozers, which were the little mini like bug-looking lime guys that did like the construction site stuff all the time, and then the Gorgs, which were kind of like the bad guys, I think, theoretically, and then the silly creatures, aka humans, which you don't see a ton of interaction with humans, but you always get the intro where you go down in the hole. And
what was your cereal with this, Lindsay Badger?
The cereal was honeycombs.
Oh, honeycombs!
The beautiful puffy yellow.
Wonderful,
You know, they actually
delicious.
shape like they have like the
Yeah.
honey sweet stuff going
Now,
on.
now with more honey.
Yes, now
honeycomb.
with more honey.
Yeah. Here.
So-
I pulled this image just for you, Badger.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, that looks good.
I almost bought that box today.
Oh my
husband was
gosh.
like, nope.
Honeycomb takes me back to a really good spot in my life, right? I mean, this is. I was a honeycomb kid. I'm so sorry.
Honeycombs is the bomb. It's definitely the bomb.
Stargate Pioneer over in the chat room
What's up, buddy?
said that Austin's anger. He said it was an angry Austin. He's not used to seeing that, and that he now wants to touch your tricks.
Oh.
So, we'll just leave that right there and continue on with the show. I have no freaking idea what he's up to right now. SP, it's so good to see you. Hi, my name is Ed. And it's so great to see you. Oh my God, seriously, this is so fun.
I'm less angry now.
All right, so my number 3 was one of my favorite cartoons, and it was a spinoff of the movie franchise, and that would be The Real Ghostbusters.
Nice.
The Real Ghostbusters is an American animated television series. It was a spinoff of the 1984 blockbuster hit. The series ran from September 13th to 1986 to 1991 and was produced by Columbia Pictures. Nice. And get this, not only Columbia Pictures, but Coca-Cola Telecommunications.
Whoa.
Oh.
Now, is that not a weird one? Now, here's where the
That's
tie-in
weird.
comes in. Coca-Cola owns High C. High C makes
Ecto
Ecto
Cooler.
There you go.
Amazing.
The more you know. Anyway, so the show originally aired on ABC for its full run, and except for the second season, which ran on syndication at the time of its third season, it started running again on ABC. Later reruns of the show appeared on USA Networks and the Cartoon Express and all these amazing shows. But I remember this show specifically as Slimer being like the good guy and kind of like the helper throughout the entire show. I don't know if you guys remember
I remember that.
And it was really cool. And they recently released Ghostbusters, The Real Ghostbusters, on Blu-ray. So if you want to go back and relive it. Now, not only did they release it, do you guys remember the toy line that came out with this?
I do, actually. I remember they had the actual jetpacks.
Yeah.
They had the ghost traps that you could literally roll on the floor and hit a button and it would
Was
open
that
up.
not crazy?
Yeah.
And it
I
was so
remember
cool.
all that stuff.
And I remember my cousin, not you, Austin, but my other cousin on my mom's side, Justin, he got all the cool stuff. And I was a little bit jealous. And I was like, my mommy, I want a blaster. I want the Ecto. And he's like, no, you get, no, you get He-Man.
Not for you.
You get He-Man. No. All right, so my cereal with this, and it's another one, this is the only time it was ever done, is another one that has 2 in the bag.
Oh.
There's only 2 that they did, and that was Nintendo cereal and Nerds cereal.
Nerds.
It was a tangy cereal that was
Wow.
kind of counterintuitive somehow. I mean, it was weird, but it was kind of reminiscent. It would make your milk taste a little weird,
A little funky.
a little funky. I remember that as a kid. I was like, "Oh, this is good. Oh, this is not good." But when Nerds, it was fun because I remember my mom. She would get coupons for this, and she would buy this for me, thinking I would like it. This was actually one cereal that I hated. I love to hate.
Huh.
All right.
But when Nerds are your favorite candy and they come out in a cereal that looks exactly the same, how can you say no?
That's
It's
true.
impossible. I mean, Nerd cereal, like the candy box, came with 2 different flavors, and each flavor had a separate compartment. Yes, the box was divided again. This is so cool. And so, sure, it had the same flavor issues. It was a sour breakfast meal. Sour. It was disgusting. But on the aesthetic, it was pretty neat, and it was created by the same company that made the Nintendo cereal. Get it? The double box, the double bag.
Did you like open both sides and mix the flavors together?
Yeah, you didn't want to do that.
Okay. Well,
Do you want me to tell you the reason why you don't want to do that?
go for it.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm kind of scared with you. I know how things can go.
Well, okay. Since we've already climbed down the rabbit hole, I'm going to let you know why. Let's just say when I went to the restroom, it was a certain lime green color that freaked me the heck out. So I'm like,
and
okay.
now it's completely unpacked for you, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome.
We're not doing that anymore. All right, so Austin, what's your number 3?
Guys, I'm gonna sing a little ditty for you real quick. Ready?
Hold on.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
You guys remember that? What show is this from? Somebody tell me.
Yes.
Pokemon, baby. This show,
Pokemon.
along with SpongeBob, is still going strong today. It is
my
not
gosh.
stopped. 922 episodes, 18 years later. Although I have lost track of the story, I will never lose track of the memories that I made following Ash, Misty, and Brock on their adventure to become Pokemon masters or Pokemon breeders.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the concept of Pokemon, but not everyone knows how impactful the story was on kids watching at the right age. I was the right age. This show made you want to be these characters, live in this world of amazing creatures. It made me laugh. It made me cry. And it made me become attached.
Wait, you cried on Pokemon?
Okay. There was a movie that came out, and Ash turned to stone.
You know what? We'll just leave that right there.
He turned to stone.
We'll leave it right there.
And that was heart-wrenching, okay? It hurt me as a child because I thought he was gone, but he wasn't. Spoiler alert for a movie that's 20 years old.
Oh my God, you're on fire tonight.
But there's a reason that Pokemon Go clicks so strong with this generation, and it's because this is the generation that grew up with Pokemon as a show. Okay. Overall, this is my favorite Japanese show, not movie, show of all time, and I hope to one day see a live-action movie about Ash from Pallet Town.
What was your cereal?
My cereal that was paired along with that is one that you mentioned earlier, Joe.
Yes.
That is Blueberry. Blueberry. And Joe already hit on Blueberry pretty hard, but I will just echo what he said. It's so hard to pick out of all the General Mills monster themes, but Blueberry was just special, man. I think that's why we both decided to go with it. The flavor was so different from any other cereal at the time, and the Ghost mascot was personally my favorite one.
Yes,
Blueberry
It was really a good cereal, and you know it's one of the things around this time of year that I actually really get excited for, because
Halloween,
General Mills, they bring it back. Not only do they bring it back, I don't know if you see it in the graphic, but they resurrected 2 of their old 60s, 70s versions, Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy.
Fruity Yummy Mummy.
Fruity Yummy Mummy.
See, most people are only familiar with Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Blueberry,
The top 3.
But not a lot of people know that there's 2 more, and,
Right,
they were all good. But Blueberry.
Lindsay Badger, what is your number 3 cartoon?
Number 3 has got to be the iconic girl's favorite cartoon of
she said
my
girls'
era.
cartoon.
Don't do this to me.
Is it
Care
Rainbow?
Bears. I know, boys. I am so sorry. You're going to want to vomit rainbows, but it captured the hearts of so many kids. It originally aired from 85 to 88, of course.
I just puked on
That was
the
the
radio.
majority of my youngs, and then they did they still do.
Did you say
reruns of
young?
this show? No, young, like
young
little
buns?
little persons,
Young
little
buns?
people.
Sun buns?
Younglings.
Okay, all right,
Anyway,
children.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so basically the premise is pretty simple. They go on missions that help caring, and they fight the bad guy, and basically their tummies light up and they shoot rainbows and save the day. It's really a simple concept. I really honestly don't know why I love this so much, other than they are just so freaking stinking cute, and they come in all colors of the rainbow. I don't understand, but I still love them so much. I had stuffed animals.
What was
with
your favorite
them.
Care Bear?
My favorite Care Bear was the Grumpy Bear. He was light blue and had the little rain cloud on his tummy.
There he is.
Because, there he is. Because he was really grumpy, but he really cared a lot, so he wasn't really mean.
So you were talking
He's
about
just
how they
misunderstood.
would shoot stuff out of their chest and make people happy and go. That sounds like me
Yes,
after Chipotle.
like a prism of light. It wasn't like stuff. It was just a prism of light.
Okay.
And there was these random kids that showed up and helped along too. It was quite confusing if you look at it from the adult view, but the kids kids view, you just love it to death.
And your
So
cereal.
we're gonna match that up with my go-to Apple Jacks. Why they call them Apple Jacks, I really don't know, because they don't taste anything like apples.
No, they don't.
don't.
They really don't.
They don't.
I don't know what they taste like. They taste like if apples were like a flat tire.
And if I remember Apple Jacks not having the green ones when I was a little kid, but I think they added them later. I don't know. My kids love them too. We have them on a very rare occasion as a special treat. They are definitely a go-to cereal in my house, and they bring back great memories of awesome times.
Well, and I remember seeing the old commercials for Apple Jacks, and remember the old ads from this is from 1994, the Kellogg Company, and it was. My mom actually bought me some Apple Jacks, and I was chilling out. Again, it's kind of along the same kind of lines of tricks, in texture and.
They turned your milk that fruity color flavor. It's like this tint of orange.
I didn't like how the texture of them after they've been in your bowl for 2 minutes.
True.
It just turns to like a piece of sponge.
Yeah.
Luke in the chat says they taste kind of apple-y, and I guess I can agree with that.
There's a little
twinge of apple in there.
All right. So we're officially at number 2, and you're all getting a little bonus time right now. We're actually going over time. This is really cool.
What?
I hope you guys hang out with us to the end, because we got good stuff.
We do have some good stuff. All right. So my number 2. So who are 4 brothers that love pizza and live in a sewer?
The Beatles.
This guy knows.
Michelangelo. No. That is the Ninja Turtles, yes. So,
it's that one.
The characters, a lot of people don't know this about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they started in comic books. Believe it or not, it was not from an actual television cartoon show. Look at that. You're hugging Michelangelo. All you need is a piece of pizza. Yeah.
My kid loves this. I actually asked him permission to borrow this for the show.
That is freaking awesome.
Thank you, Ethan.
And look at your shirt. Look at your shirt. You got a freaking awesome shirt there. Oh, that's so awesome.
We are a Ninja Turtle house.
That's awesome.
We all love the Ninja Turtles.
So the characters originated from comics, and basically was formed into a cartoon series by Mirage Studios, and it made this entire huge epic franchise of what is it now? There was 4 old school films, and now there's 2 that's been rebooted, which we've covered one of them already, and then video games, toys, all kinds of crazy merchandise. And during the peak of the franchise's popularity in the late 80s and 90s, it gained worldwide success and fame. The 4 heroes are Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, along with reporter April O'Neil, and their fearless leader Splinter would battle the evil Foot Clan and the leader Shredder. And Krang later was introduced in that as well. Got a good shot of the guys here down in the sewer.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Memories, man.
And that's the original way they were drawn, not the weird way.
That's the old school. That's and I actually did. Let me see if I got this image right quick, because I went into the man cave, and anybody that knows anything about my man cave knows I got some stuff. I pulled these out of the box.
Oh,
they're the originals.
Yeah,
with all the little tiny weapons.
Yeah,
dude.
I was that kid that was a little weird. Do you have
the van that throws the pizzas?
I had the van, weird. And when I moved from Kentucky, I lost it.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I lost a lot of. There were some things that I thought I had packed, but I didn't pack. And when my mom and dad sold the home place, they sold the old home place in Kentucky, and it was. I don't have no idea where it went. Man. Sad but true. But anyway, I digress. So my cereal that I'm going to pair with this, and it's just totally off the wall, totally obscure, but it was a cereal that was mentioned actually recently on Comic Book Men on AMC, and that is, get ready for it, Batman cereal. Yes. Now, see,
I remember the commercials for that.
Now, they marketed this cereal like crazy back in the day in 1989 when the new movie came out. Batman cereal was kind of a big deal. And when you bought the Batman cereal, when you got it when it first came out, if you were lucky enough, you would have got it with the Batman Bank. Look at the Batman Bank.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Batman Bake.
Guess what? I still have the Batman Bank.
no, you
Yes.
don't.
I have the Batman Bank.
That's awesome.
And so it's really cool. And I remember the cereal tasted like trash.
I noticed this cereal is made by the same as Nintendo and the Nerds.
Ralston. Yep.
Ralston.
Good old Ralston cereals. So Batman was a promotional tie-in for the 1989 film Batman, directed by Tim Burton, which had Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, and Kim Basinger. The cereal box enthusiasts remember this box for Batman Bank that was offered as a premium attached to the box within a plastic shrink wrap. A television commercial was paired for the movie for the cereal, and it was called A Smashing Taste of Honey Nut Flavored Part of Your Complete Breakfast. Many people remember this cereal, though, tasting similar to Captain Crunch, the original Captain Crunch.
Huh.
So that would be mine. Yeah, that's. It was okay. I mean, it was good when it was out, and I can't remember what none of these taste like because they've been gone so long. But anyway,
That's true.
Yeah, Austin, you're number 2.
Oh, dude, Batman cereal. I was missing out on a lot as a kid. Okay, so my number 2 favorite cartoon is what I consider to be the show that got me into superheroes and comic books, and that is the 1994 Spider-Man series that lasted 5 seasons and garnered a ton of attention. So Stan Lee actually came out, and I don't remember when it was, but he said this was his favorite cartoon based around his characters.
Wow.
And that's saying a lot. Okay, this show embodies what we love about Spider-Man. It showed the balance of everyday life and the balance of superhero life perfectly. It featured crossovers with great Marvel shows such as X-Men, and we got some characters that weren't even, didn't even have their own shows, but there were so many crossovers. And as a kid, man, seeing Spider-Man crossover with all these other characters, this is before we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, okay?
That's pretty epic.
That was epic to me, right?
Yeah,
Epic.
yeah.
And subconsciously, this whet our appetite for a live-action Spider-Man, which we got that portrayal shortly after, which, Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi brought us Spider-Man. And when I saw that, it kind of reminded me of this Spider-Man series, all right? You've got the same way that Peter Parker was handled, the same way he had the relationships. This show inspired so much great stuff. And it's why I would wake up early every Saturday and tune into 4Kids TV to watch the latest episode.
Oh, man. Spider-Man. I remember, too. Do you know the guy that from Aerosmith that it's not Steven Tyler, but the guy that plays the guitar? He was the guy that actually done the intro to this. Do you remember that?
No way.
The voice guitar, Spider-Man, radioactive Spider-Man. And
that was him?
Yeah. Somebody in the chat help me out. What is Steven Tyler's? Joe Perry.
Moon
Thank you.
for the win.
Moon Shadow in the chat room live in real time.
Man.
Joe Perry. Yeah, Joe Perry did that.
Joe Perry, man. This intro, though, one of my favorite intros.
I wish we
to
could play
any
it.
cartoon.
I wish we could play these, man.
Please go on YouTube and search up the Spider-Man intro.
It's so epic. Good. All right, so your cereal that you paired with Spidey.
Okay, so my cereal is, and this is a weird combination because you got Spider-Man paired with the Flintstones. The Flintstones was one of my favorite old-timey TV shows to watch, and it actually almost made this list. I own the first few seasons on DVD, if that tells you anything. Okay. So when I discovered that there was a tie-in cereal when I was super duper young, I was like, Mom, I gotta have this because it's the Flintstones.
Yeah,
okay. So when I discovered that there was a tie-in cereal with the Flintstones, I had to give it a shot. From Cocoa Pebbles to Fruity Pebbles, the Pebbles brand is incredible, and it had a fruity flavor that you loved as a kid. But it was in these tiny little bite-sized, little Rice Krispie pieces. Oh my gosh, you guys!
And then it turned your milk into awesomeness,
right?
Oh, I do remember.
It was good cereal.
You remember Cocoa Pebbles? How it would turn your milk into chocolate milk?
Fruity Pebbles would do that too in the fruit variety. Yes.
Cocoa Puffs would too.
Cocoa Puffs. Yeah.
That's
Cocoa Puffs almost made my list.
Yeah.
So Pebbles in general, guys. I mean, this has lasted the test of time, and kids today still love Fruity Pebbles and still love Cocoa Pebbles, and now we have Fruity Pebbles with marshmallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some of that.
So
Give me some. I'll take it all day.
So, Badger, what is your number 2, my dear?
Muppet Babies.
Oh.
Yes. Who
That's a
doesn't
classic.
love these cute
Look on your shoulder. Look over your
Look
shoulder.
at this.
right
Look
there.
at this.
Look,
Hold
look,
on.
look,
We
look,
got to
look.
get close up on these
Oh.
guys. These guys are legit. We checked the trademark
tags.
on them. 1984.
Original.
I love these guys. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the show real quick. It originally started as a dream sequence in the Muppets Take Manhattan movie, and it became a hit series on CBS in 1984. It's simply Kermit, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, and the rest of the crew all living in a nursery with a nanny who randomly checks on them, and when the nanny's not around, they use their imagination to go on these incredible, amazing adventures. Basically, they take references to all of the really popular movies and TV shows like Star Trek, Star Wars, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, Wizard of Oz, and so many more. Every episode had epic references to all kinds of stuff, subtle and huge. I mean, there's so many Easter eggs in these shows. Every episode ended with a sequence which something bad happened to our dear friend Gonzo. I love him.
Poor Gonzo.
And Baby Animal always said, "Go bye-bye." So the show ended in 1990. The reruns continue to run early 90s on Fox and Nickelodeon. Hey, sugar.
Oh man, so that is truly epic, and the Muppet Babies was such an important. I remember, wasn't it like is Muppet Babies followed up by? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like Masters of the Universe?
I can't remember specifically.
Or was it Masters of the Universe followed up by Muppet Babies?
That's
I can't
possible.
remember.
I can't either. But my favorite to go with it.
Yes. Yes.
Captain Crunch with the Crunch Berries.
Gotta have those
Gotta
crunch
have
berries.
the Crunch Berries. And you've got to have Captain Crunch and berries. It can't be just berries or just Crunch. It's got to have the perfect mix of awesome sugary goodness.
Oh, man.
And this is the cereal that would go soggy in 30 seconds, but if you ate it in the first 30 seconds, it made
which I would
the top of your roof, the roof of your mouth, like raw because it was so rough. There's like no happy medium, really.
Oh, man. That is so crazy.
That's amazing.
That is pretty freaking amazing. I will give you that. And so, wow, I can't believe we're like on number 1 already. This is insane.
I'm just gonna hang on to Miss Piggy while we do this.
You want to hang out with Miss Piggy?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with Miss Piggy.
All right. So my favorite cartoon of all time, dun dun dun, is He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Oh my gosh, dude! This was the cartoon.
Such a boy cartoon.
I know, but this was the cartoon that really got me kind of into the whole world of just long before Transformers. I mean, I think I got more turned on to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe before Transformers, and then Transformers came right after that. But I just remember so many. My mom went on a daggone hunt to try to find me the action figures. I mean, she would go to Toys R Us and KB Toys when there was a KB Toys.
Oh, KB Toys.
You remember
yes.
KB Toys?
Huh?
And so she would go and try to find these toys for me. And she got most of them, every single one of them. It was pretty awesome. But He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It is an American animated television series produced by Filmation based on Mattel's toy line. Another toy line. So the show, often referred to as simply He-Man, was the most popular animated children's shows of the 1980s and has retained a heavy cult following to this day. It made its television debut in 1983 and ran until 1985. Consisting of 2 full seasons of 65 episodes. Wow. Reruns continued to air in syndication all the way through to 1988, at which point the USA Network bought the rights to the series, and USA then thereafter aired He-Man until September 1990. So everybody remembers, by the power of Grayskull. I have the power. So my cereal that I got to pair with this, and this is my cereal. A lot of people may not know this cereal, and I'm gonna just throw it out there. Kaboom.
I don't know this one, but the smiles I recognize, which
Okay.
is
Kaboom was a really awesome cereal, and they discontinued it just as recently as 2010.
Of course.
This had been around
What?
since the 60s, guys. And Kaboom was just an amazing cereal, and it was kind of one of those vitamin fortified circus themed breakfast cereals produced by General Mills, and it contained oat cereal bits shaped like smiling clown faces and marshmallow bears, lions, elephants, and stars. Its mascot was a smiling circus clown. It originated, you ready for this? 1969 is when this cereal. Known
around for a
primarily as a breakfast cereal of the 70s and the 80s, Kaboom remained available for sale as recently as 2010, when it was discontinued by General Mills. And so, therefore, was a part of my life, a part of my soul. And General Mills, I tell you something right now, if you do not bring that back, I will come to your front door. I will eat you. No, never mind. I'm done.
I will eat you.
I must need you now. It just ticks me off, man. When they get rid of something that is just an integral part of my childhood. And oh God, it just like like. Anyway, Austin,
bring it back.
I'm trying to get back. All right.
So number one for me. Okay, I'm going to start it off by saying this. Here we go.
Okay. All right.
4 Emmys, 1 iconic Joker portrayal, 1 incredible Batman voice, 1 series that made Batman my favorite superhero of all time. That's right, Batman the Animated Series lasted 4 seasons, and the new Batman Adventures, which was a continuation of the same story, lasted 2 seasons. So the full series spanned 8 years as a whole. This is widely considered the greatest comic book cartoon ever created and is constantly copied today. But the mix of the gritty tone and the child-appealing animation is incredible. These characters are so iconic that Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy consistently reprise their roles today in literally everything that DC does, but most things that DC do. They are ingrained into every 90s kid's brain as the definitive Batman and Joker combination. I remember this series opening my eyes as a kid to deeper subjects, and it encouraged me to think. It's very rare that you can find a cartoon that plays with your emotions like this one, but this show did just that. This is a show that I never missed an episode of, and if I did, I made sure we recorded it to VHS and I watched it later. And I was lucky enough that it was so popular in the early 90s, which, you know, it came out before I was even born, but Cartoon Network would consistently replay the seasons in order, episode to episode, until the early 2000s. I got to see every episode.
Awesome.
I can remember every episode. This show, to me, was the most iconic thing when I was a kid, and that's why it's number 1 on my list.
That's pretty awesome. And
That's a good choice.
That is a good choice, man. Very emotional attachment. You know, it's funny. We hear the passion behind our voices, and you know that how passionate we are about some of these things that we're talking about. This is our childhood we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean,
It's very important to us.
It is.
Just a little bit. So, you know, just on the whim of that, and I have to agree, this is when we saw Mark Hamill come on the scene as the Joker.
That's right.
Steal the show.
And this was the first time we heard his voice as the Joker in that, well, Batman. You know, it's just, it was iconic. It was kind of eerie. It was kind of creepy. It was good, dude. It was really good. So what was your cereal? What was your
So
number
my
one?
cereal, okay, so the cereal that 90s kids love so much, there was a petition to bring this cereal back 2 years ago, and that petition got so many signatures that these now adult 90s kids can return to enjoying the best cereal ever invented, in my humble opinion. That is French Toast Crunch. Do you guys remember French Toast Crunch? Okay, this may be the best thing ever, all right?
It was pretty good.
Turned into a cereal. How could you can't get better than that. And so 1995, General Mills is when this came out. This was the year I was born. Okay, I was born with this cereal, so no wonder I have such an attachment to this. Guys, I have 2 boxes. I have one in my hand. I have one almost finished in the cabinet. I buy it every week. That just tells you how much I loved the cereal when I was a kid. Seriously.
Oh my
That's all I have.
gosh. You college kids.
Oh, you kid.
Okay, this is all I can afford, but it's delicious.
Wow.
Buy the good stuff.
You know what? Before we get to Lindsay Badger's number one, I honestly don't think I've ever tried French Toast Crunch.
You must.
Oh, you need to. It's definitely
So
an
it's-
experience.
Okay.
It's so good, man.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Oh man, and look at the conversation going on right now on the PopX.
I'm loving
Live.
this.
This is really good.
Luke
Moonshadow
said-
and Luke and Tony and all the guys hanging out. This is so
Luke
cool.
says the worst cartoon was Jim and the Holograms and Peter Pan cereal.
Dude.
Peter Pan.
Come on.
cereal.
I'm going to have to
Jim and the
agree with
Holograms.
that. I was not a
Yes.
Jim and the Holograms cartoon fan.
Did you guys see the movie that came out last year?
I did not.
No,
No, nobody saw it. It's terrible. It's really bad.
So are you guys ready for my number one
Let's
pick?
do it.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh,
It's not a cartoon, but it was there religiously
Good.
every Saturday morning
good pull.
for 5 seasons.
Good pull, Lindsay
It
Badger.
picked up 22 Emmy Awards along the way.
It did.
Yep. CBS decided to let Pee-wee into their Saturday morning lineup after their success of the film Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is great if you haven't seen it, and also Pee-wee's Big Top, too.
Oh yes.
Paul Rubens' creation, Pee-wee Herman. We all know he has the signature suit, the red bow tie, the white platform shoes. He starts every week off with the wacky intro song sung by none other than Cyndi Lauper. She was the singer of that, which was just crazy. I didn't know that one before the show. He'd visit his playhouse, greet all his friends, boot up Conky 2000, figure out what the secret word of the day was, and then scream every single time somebody said that word.
Oh
And
my
not
gosh.
only did you do it during the show, but you would do it for the rest of the day and drive your parents absolutely crazy, which was
Right.
fantastic. Other than that, he basically just hung out at the show, made a snack or did a project, and had these wacky, crazy visitors come through. There was so many different characters that you fell in love with. And then at the end of the show, he would always take off on his rocket scooter until the next week.
Now, who wanted
And
a
the
scooter? Who wanted that scooter?
Oh, I wanted the bike.
Dude, I wanted that
but I wanted the
bike
scooter,
so
too.
freaking bad. I mean, and look at his helmet. He had that thing so tricked out.
He
I
did.
mean,
with the eye.
oh my gosh.
Well, the show ran till 91, and it probably would have even went farther if Paul Rubin would have been a good boy and not gotten into
Well,
trouble.
he was caught playing with this monkey in a
It
theater.
was. Well, here's a little nerd nugget, you guys. This week, on September 13th, it celebrated its 30th anniversary.
Yep, I remember. Yep.
Really?
Wow. It celebrated its 30th anniversary this week
That's
on the
crazy.
13th.
Can everybody recite in 3, 2, 1?
Licka, licka,
Hi, Mecca, hi, ho.
Howdy-ho.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and he granted a wish every single day. Man, wouldn't you love to have a genie in a box that wished you granted wishes every day? There was also Cowboy Curtis, which is Lawrence Fishburne, got his start into the business.
Mhm.
Morpheus was this Jerry curled cowboy guy that hung out
Yeah,
with Pee Wee Herman every
Cowboy
week.
Curtis. My
Captain
gosh.
Carl was the late Phil Hartman.
Like Phil Hartman.
And then you can't forget the king of cartoons that would always bring in the little projector and play like the old Great Depression, Golden Age cartoons that were from the public domain archive.
Don't be Mr. Bungle.
There's so many different great characters in there. Some you saw more than others, but it was always just a fun time. You can always look forward to this. I know for a while they played this series on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on there or
something
not.
that I didn't notice that was in your notes, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Pee-wee actually made a return in 2016 to Netflix. The Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
Yes, he did do
success,
that.
too.
and I
So
did not
Paul
mention-
Rubens is back in
He is
2016 as Pee-wee Herman. So,
And he also plays the Penguin's dad in Gotham, by the way.
That's
oh,
awesome.
he does.
Drop that little nugget.
Yeah.
But my cereal pairing to go with this amazing show is the amazing father to the French toast cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Now, Lindsay Badger, do you remember the 3 original cartoons of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch guys?
Oh, they had the
Remember
3 chefs,
The
right?
3 chefs, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember their names, but I do
don't
remember
Yeah.
the guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were pretty awesome because they would like go through the whole process of how to make it. And I've been working on a bowl of this stuff. It's really soggy right now.
Oh, I wouldn't even. Oh no. Oh, she did.
Go for it. Go for it.
Live on camera.
Go for it.
It's still cinnamony goodness, you guys.
So-
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys,
great.
that is our official top 5.
That's it.
And that is our cereals from our childhood. So now you know a little bit more about us, and you know about some of our favorite cartoons growing up. And as you can see, our list was very different. It was very unique, and we all had kind of a different perspective on everything. And it was really cool having Lindsay Badger on tonight, and just kind of letting her share
Thanks
her
for having me,
perspective.
guys.
Oh yeah, and we want to wish Mike Ippolito a very safe return back from his cruise.
We miss you, Mike.
But you know, before we move on and close up, I want to say, if you're out there and you're listening to our show this week and you really like what you hear, we would love to know what your 5 favorite cartoons and your 5 favorite breakfast cereals were. Now, I know we live in an era where breakfast cereals are frowned upon because of their sugar and, as Wilford
true.
Brimley would so say it, diabetes.
Diabetes.
But we, you know, as growing up in the 80s, that was a huge part of our childhood, and the 90s. And it was Saturday morning cartoons and cereal. That was our jam. We didn't have school. We woke up, we watched our cartoons, and we just got nerdy for a little while. And so we want to know what your top 5s are. Drop us a line, popxcast@gmail.com, or head over to our website and just reply to this video over on YouTube, okay? But so we want to let you guys know, too, we do have a hotline, and if you guys want to call there, you can as well. And our phone number is 850-417-7679. That is our hotline, and it's 850-417-POPX. That's 850-417-POPX.
Call us up. Also, we are part of an amazing network called the Gonna Geek Network. For all things even more geeky, head over to gonnageek.com and check out some amazing podcasts from our home network.
It's an amazing crew over there.
No, you know what? Have you guys had a chance to check out any of the shows on Gonna Geek?
I watched Stargate Pioneers show.
Yeah, I watched
Pioneers is
Starling
awesome.
Tribune has
The
kicked
Starling
back up.
Tribune.
SP has come back from regions unknown, and he's been gone for weeks.
Oh, and Steven's in our chat. Hey,
Steven Chandru hanging out in our chat room. But SP has made his triumphant return to the world of podcasting from his Floridian, I don't know what he was doing. I think he was down here on some kind of film shoot with Val Kilmer. I'm just messing with you, SP.
We don't know.
But anyway, we love our... my personal favorite is the Starling Tribune. No disrespect to Steven Gendry, but I get my geek on with the Crimson Comic and Starling Tribune because that's just... I'm a CW. I'm into that stuff right now, so that's where my heart is. So, Lindsay Badger.
Well, after you get done checking out the Gonna Geek Network, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Patreon, Twitter, Pinterest is everything at PopXcast. Make sure to email us all your awesome cartoon favorites and serials at popxcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from our listeners, so please, in the future, if you want to check out future and past shows, always check out our official website, www.popxcast.com.
All right.
Hey, guys, I want to say this. Don't just tweet the show. Tweet me. I'm at the Burkinator. I want to hear some of your guys' favorite childhood cartoons because this is such an awesome topic to talk about. And I have a YouTube page. I do reviews and reactions. Just Austin Burke. Find me. As Lindsay knows, sometimes I'll hate on trailers.
It's actually he has great fun content over there.
He does hate on trailers, though. It's
If
kinda
you guys want to include me in the conversation about all the fun things nerdy and geeky, you can find me pretty much anywhere at LR Badger, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all of that good stuff.
That's awesome. And I am
Joe?
Joe Burke, the lead host here at PopXcast. I want to send a great thank you to our amazing host network, Gonna Geek Network, for all things geeky and nerdy. You got to go over there and just check it out. They cater to everything, whether you're into Doctor Who, whether you're into The Flash, or whatever, or pop culture, PopX. Check them out. And they even do a podcast on how to make your podcast better, on better podcasting. Check
They
it
do.
out. It is freaking
good
boom
stuff.
sauce. So I'm Joe Burke at RockCav on the internet. Again, hats off to this amazing team, Team PopX, Lindsay Badger, Mikey Polito. We love you. We're sending you some love right now. Hopefully you're watching this. All right. And Lindsay Badger and Austin Burke. Stay tuned for next week's episode. We got a really cool one. We got an artist, a comic book artist. He's drawn for Disney. He's done stuff on the fly, and he is pretty freaking dope. He lives right here in Orlando, and his name is John Pinto. So we're going to be having the art of John Pinto.
That's going to be a cool
right
show.
here on PopX next week. It's going to be a really cool interview. We've interviewed Russ Braun, who's part of the new Six Pack and Dog Welder, and he's also done some other things. So this time we got John Pinto, and he's going to tell us about some of his cool stuff he's got. This dude goes to cons like there ain't nobody's business. I follow his Instagram. If you can follow him at Art of Pinto, you'll see that he's at a con right now selling his artwork. It's crazy.
Sweet.
So check us out, and I think that's a wrap, guys.
That's a wrap. I think what a show.
All right, guys. Well, you take care, and we will see you next time on episode number 34 of PopXcast. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
From everyone here at PopXcast, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe for more great content. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all at PopXcast. Get your geek on, all at PopXcast.